Hello everyone, welcome to PlotXplorer. This story takes place in South Africa, a country located at the southernmost tip of the African continent. It is the second largest economy in Africa, with mining, manufacturing, agriculture, and services as its four main economic pillars. The country has a population of about 60 million, with complex racial relations. The white population proportion has been decreasing year by year and now accounts for 7.8% of the total population. South Africa has three capitals: Pretoria, administrative, Cape Town, legislative, and Bloemfontein, judicial. South Africa is a beautiful country with vast grasslands, charming beaches, majestic mountains, and bustling cities. However, beneath this beautiful exterior lies a variety of crimes. About 40 kilometers east of Cape Town lies the city of Stellenbosch, situated at the foot of the Stellenbosch Mountains. It is one of the oldest towns in South Africa, known for its long summer days and significant temperature differences between day and night. These unique climatic conditions make it a renowned grape-growing region, famous for its wine production. Today's story takes place in this location. Before we begin, I want to give a warning. This is a sad and anger-inducing story that might affect your mood for the day, but it did happen. The person in the photo is named Hannah. She was born in Cape Town, a coastal city in southwestern South Africa, and grew up in an elite family. Her father, William, was a local judge, and her mother, Anna, was a lawyer running a law firm in the area. Hannah also had a younger brother, 3 years her junior, who had autism and required special care from the family. Hannah was smart and talented from a young age, excelling in her studies and having a wide range of interests. She was skilled in piano and drama, making her a talented girl. If asked about her greatest virtue, it would be her kind heart. On the eve of her 16th birthday, her parents planned a grand birthday party for her. However, after careful consideration, Hannah declined their offer. She wanted to use the money for the party to help children from poor families who couldn't even meet their basic needs. With her parents' support, she bought food and supplies and donated them to local impoverished children. From then on, every year on her birthday, Hannah would use her saved pocket money to help those children. In 2015, Hannah was admitted to Stellenbosch University with excellent grades, majoring in humanities. The university is located in the northern part of Stellenbosch, 40 kilometers from her hometown of Cape Town. It is a top public research university and one of the oldest in South Africa. Hannah moved into a dormitory named Irene, close to the university. Her parents planned to buy her a car for convenience, but Hannah thought the money could be used for more meaningful purposes and declined their offer. Later, her 90-year-old grandmother gave her a 1984 Volkswagen Golf with a blue body, which Hannah accepted. During her university years, besides studying, she actively participated in animal protection activities. Her kind nature and cheerful personality helped her make many friends on campus. At a party, she met Cheslin, a 22-year-old theology student at Stellenbosch University. He was a sunny, sports-loving boy, especially fond of skateboarding. They became good friends, sharing many common interests. However, on a night in May 2017, these two young people faced a test of fate. On May 26, 2017, a Friday evening, Stellenbosch University students were finishing their week of classes. Hannah, then 21, had been studying at the university for nearly 2 years. Since it was the weekend, she decided to relax with some friends at a nearby bar. Stellenbosch's nightlife was vibrant, especially on weekends, with bars bustling with activity. That night, Hannah and her friends went to a bar, enjoying drinks and conversations. During this time, she saw Cheslin among another group of people. Since they knew each other, they naturally sat together and chatted, with their friends joining in. They spent the night playing dominoes, a popular game among South African university students at the time. Time flew by, and soon it was 3 a.m. Hannah felt it was getting late and said goodbye to her friends, planning to head back to her dorm. Coincidentally, Cheslin also wanted to leave. He initially planned to skateboard back, but considering the late hour, he offered to walk Hannah home for her safety. Hannah agreed. The streets were dimly lit, with only a few young people around. Hannah's dorm, Irene, was just 1.3 kilometers from the bar. They chatted and laughed along the way, quickly reaching their destination. As Cheslin was about to leave, Hannah, worried about his safety, offered to drive him home. He lived 2.2 kilometers away at Lavanda Apartments. Cheslin initially refused but eventually agreed after Hannah insisted. He placed his skateboard in the back seat and sat in the front passenger seat. At 3:23 a.m., they arrived at Lavanda Apartments. The surveillance footage showed Hannah's car arriving and parking next to a white car, slightly obscuring the view. They continued chatting in the car for a while. 6 minutes later, at 3:29 a.m., 4 men appeared on the surveillance footage, walking past Hannah's car and looking back suspiciously. These men were 32-year-old Vibu, 26 26-year-old Parsons, 27-year-old Van Niekerk, and 28-year-old Julius. They were all criminals, involved in robbery and theft, and were out looking for a target. 3 minutes later, at 3:32 a.m., two of the men reappeared on the footage, walking directly towards Hannah's car. Unaware of the impending danger, Hannah and Cheslin were still chatting in the car with the windows down and doors unlocked. As Cheslin was about to get out, one of the men appeared outside the driver's seat, pointing a screwdriver at Hannah. Cheslin realized the danger, but another man quickly opened the passenger door, threatening him with a knife to move to the back seat. The man with the screwdriver sat in the driver's seat, pushing Hannah to the middle, with Vibhu and Parsons on either side. The other two men sat in the back, controlling Cheslin. They took their phones and wallets, terrifying Hannah, who pleaded for them to leave after taking their belongings. One of the robbers, Julius, found only 40 rand in Cheslin's wallet. Initially, he wanted to leave, but seeing his accomplices unwilling to stop, he decided not to participate further, taking the 40 rand and running away. It was 3:35 a.m. Soon, Vibhu found the car keys and started the car. At 3:39 a.m., the car left the apartment parking lot. Midway, the robbers forced Cheslin into the trunk, leaving Hannah trembling and asking where they were going. The robbers claimed they just wanted to go home and would return the car afterward. Naively, Hannah believed them, but this was just the beginning of a nightmare. The car drove for several kilometers before stopping in a secluded alley. Two robbers got out to buy illegal substances from some shady individuals, then drove off again. After driving a bit further, they stopped by the roadside, got out, and opened the trunk, demanding Cheslin's bank card PIN. Cheslin reluctantly gave them a number. The car then drove to a gas station on the outskirts of Stellenbosch. Surveillance footage showed the blue Golf parked in front of the convenience store. Vibhu entered the store, wearing a down vest and black pants, holding Cheslin's bank card. He spent several minutes at the ATM, but couldn't withdraw any money because Cheslin had given a wrong PIN. Leaving the store, Vibhu returned to the car, and they drove off. The footage clearly showed Hannah in the front passenger seat. The car then drove 15 kilometers to Kraaifontein, where the robbers bought and used illegal substances and completed some transactions. Afterward, they continued driving through the night. Cheslin, in the trunk, was very anxious, kicking the trunk lid in an attempt to escape. Hannah remained relatively calm, not screaming. However, the noise from the trunk soon angered the robbers. At 5:30 a.m., the car stopped in a remote area of Kraaifontein. Hannah was terrified, asking why they had stopped. The robbers claimed they were taking a break to smoke. Vibhu and Parsons got out, dragged Cheslin from the trunk, and pushed him to the ground. Cheslin, curled up and trembling, had no idea what was coming. The robbers, angry about the wrong PIN, decided to make him pay. Vibhu and Parsons picked up a large rock and smashed it onto Cheslin's head. At 10 a.m., a couple in Kraaifontein was watching TV in their living room when they heard cries for help outside. They opened a window to see a young man with injuries on his face. Fearing he was a gang member, they asked him to leave. The young man was Cheslin, who had miraculously survived with severe head injuries and a broken arm. He insisted the couple call the police, who then realized the seriousness of the situation and called for help. The police arrived and took Cheslin to the hospital, where he was treated for his injuries, including a broken arm and permanent hearing loss in his left ear. He recounted the night's events to the police, urging them to rescue Hannah. Earlier that morning, a young woman was found dead in a vineyard in Stellenbosch. The police quickly arrived at the scene, finding the woman with severe injuries and signs of assault. Based on Cheslin's information, DNA tests confirmed that the deceased woman was 21-year-old Hannah. It was clear that another heinous crime had occurred in the area. Earlier that morning, after killing Hannah, the robbers did not stop their criminal activities. At around 8:30 a.m., they drove Hannah's car from Stellenbosch to Kraaifontein and targeted a 32-year-old woman on her way to work. They blocked her path, and Vibhu and Van Niekerk got out, knocked her to the ground, and stole her phone, wallet, and bank card before fleeing. A few hours later, they reached the town of Quills River, 9 kilometers south of Kraaifontein. Here, they robbed another woman and forcibly pushed her into the car. At 1 p.m., they drove to a remote area and assaulted her before leaving her by the roadside. The police, now aware of the robbers' modus operandi, launched a manhunt. They tracked the stolen car and the suspect's movements through surveillance footage and witness statements. By evening, they had identified the 4 men involved in the crimes. On May 27, 2017, the police arrested Vibhu, Parsons, Van Niekerk, and Julius in a coordinated operation. They were charged with multiple counts, including murder, kidnapping, robbery, and assault. During the trial, Cheslin testified against them, providing crucial evidence that led to their conviction. The court sentenced Vibhu, Parsons, and Van Niekerk to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. Julius, who had fled the scene earlier, received a lighter sentence due to her lesser involvement, but was still sentenced to 20 years in prison. Hannah's tragic death shocked the community, and her story became a symbol of the ongoing struggle against crime in South Africa. Her family and friends established a foundation in her name to support underprivileged children and promote safety and justice in the community.